a millionaire, a perfect life, a devoted wife, all gone in an instant. Alfred Charles wakes up and doesn't recognize his own wife. Cut, Yevaida's desperate face, holding his hand, whispering, "I'll never give up on you." Can love survive when one person remembers everything and the other, nothing? Welcome back, my beautiful family. I want to say thank you for your love, your attention, and support for growing of our amazing community. I pray may God Almighty bless you and reward you all and your endeavors. Amen. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Like and comment where you're watching from. Let's begin the amazing story of today. I believe we all are going to be blessed today after this wonderful story. Let's begin. Her millionaire husband lost his memory, but his wife refuses to give up heavy blackheart hash. The sound of rain tapping against glass. A flicker of lightning illuminates a large, elegant bedroom bathed in twilight. A framed photograph on the bedside table captures a smiling couple. Alfred Charles, a strikingly handsome man in his early 30s, and Yevaida, his radiant wife, her eyes full of life and love. Every love story begins with a promise. But not all promises are easy to keep, especially when one heart remembers and the other has forgotten. Cut to a woman, Yevaida, sitting by the window, her lilac silk gown softly brushing the floor. Her eyes are swollen, not from lack of sleep, but from endless nights of holding back tears. In her hand, she holds the wedding ring she once slipped onto Alfred's finger, the ring that now rests, untouched, on the nightstand beside an empty pillow. They said love could survive anything, but I never imagined it would have to survive this. A golden evening. Alfred and Yevaida are getting ready for a gala. He's in a black tuxedo, tying his cufflinks, while she fusses with his tie, laughing. Yevaida, you know, for a man who owns half the city, you still can't tie a tie.
Alfred, chuckling.
That's what I married you for. To keep me from looking like a fool. They exchange a playful kiss. Yevaida's laughter echoes softly. To the world, Alfred Charles was a man who had everything. But to Yevaida, he was just the boy who once promised never to leave her side. They walk down the grand staircase together. The staff greets them with respect. Outside, the rain begins to fall lightly, foreshadowing the storm to come. Black car glides down a wet road. Alfred drives, one hand on the wheel, the other intertwined with Yevaida's.
Alfred.
After tonight, no more galas. Just us. Maybe a trip. Somewhere quiet. Yevaida. Promise.
Alfred.
Promise. Lightning flashes. The car ahead brakes suddenly. Screeching tires, a blinding crash. Shattered glass. The world turns white. Silence. The next sound, hospital monitors beeping. Yevaida's muffled sobs fill the sterile room. Camera pans across white walls and soft light. Yevaida sits by Alfred's bedside. His head is bandaged, his skin pale. Machines hum quietly. Her trembling fingers clutch his hand. Yevaida, whispering, "You can't leave me, Alfred. Not like this. You promised. You promised me a lifetime." The door opens. Dr. Harris, middle-aged and kind, steps in with a sympathetic expression. Dr. Harris, "Mrs. Charles, I need to prepare you for something. Your husband sustained severe trauma to his head. Physically, he's stable, but there's significant memory loss." Yevaida stares at him, confused. Yevaida, memory loss? You mean he won't remember the accident? Dr. Harris, hesitant. It's more than that. From what we can tell, he doesn't remember the last several years, including you. Her world shatters. She drops his hand, stepping back as if struck. Yevaida, no, you're wrong. He'd remember me. He has to remember me. Dr. Harris, I wish I were wrong. Sometimes, memory returns in fragments, but it may take time, or it may never return at all. He leaves her standing there, alone, surrounded by the quiet hum of machines that keep her husband alive, but not whole. Days later. The morning sun streams through the curtains. Jevita sits, exhausted, eyes half open.
Alfred stirs.
The sound of shifting sheets jolts her awake. Jevita.
Alfred?
Alfred, can you hear me? His eyes open slowly, distant, unfocused. He looks around the room, confused. Then his gaze lands on her.
Alfred.
Where am I? Her eyes fill with tears, a mix of hope and fear. Jevita, you're in the hospital. You were in an accident, but you're safe now. I'm here, Alfred. It's me, Jevita. He studies her face, expression blank, searching for recognition.
Alfred, frowning.
Jevita. I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. Silence. The words hit her like a blade. Jevita, whispering. You don't remember me? He shakes his head slowly. Her tears fall, one by one, onto his hand. Days pass. Alfred is discharged and brought home. The mansion feels foreign to him, every corridor an echo of a life he cannot recall. He walks through the halls, stopping at portraits of himself and Jevita, laughing, dancing, living. His brows knit in confusion.
Alfred.
It's strange. Everyone calls me a man of success, but I don't feel like one. Everything feels borrowed. Even my own name. Jevita watches him from the doorway, her heart breaking as she whispers to herself. Jevita, voiceover. He remembers the world. The business. The numbers. But not the nights we stayed up talking until sunrise. Not the first time he told me he loved me under the old oak tree. Not the way he used to hold my hand like he was afraid I'd disappear. Jevita tries everything. Photo albums. Home videos. Their favorite songs. She brings him coffee the way he used to like it. 2 sugars, no cream. Jevita. You used to say mornings were incomplete without this.
Alfred, politely.
Thank you. Mrs. Charles. She flinches. He says her name like a stranger reading from a business card. Later, she plays a video, their wedding day. Alfred watches silently as the man on screen vows eternal love to her.
Video Alfred.
I promise you, Jevita, even if I forget the world, I'll never forget you. In real life, the present Alfred looks down, troubled.
Alfred.
I said that? Jevita, tears streaming. You meant it. He looks away. The distance between them feels endless. Night. Jevita sits alone in their bedroom, staring at the wedding photo. She whispers to herself through tears. Jevita. They all say to move on. But how do you move on from someone who's still here? Breathing, speaking, existing, but no longer yours. She glances at the bed, Alfred sleeping peacefully, unaware of the storm inside her. She turns off the lamp, letting the darkness swallow her sobs. The next morning, Jevita hums softly as she waters the lilies in their room, his favorite flowers. Alfred pauses by the doorway, tilting his head.
Alfred.
That song. I've heard it before. She looks up, surprised. Jevita. You have. You used to hum it when you worked. It's called Our Tomorrow. He frowns, trying to remember. A shadow of recognition crosses his face, fleeting but real.
Alfred.
It feels familiar. Like a dream I almost remember. Hope flickers in her eyes. Jevita, softly. Then maybe. It's not lost forever. Camera pans to the photo on the nightstand, the same one from the opening scene, now glowing softly in the morning light. The faint sound of piano music returns, echoing the song she hummed. The Stranger in My Husband's Eyes, continuing the emotional cinematic saga of Jevita and Alfred Charles. The Stranger in My Husband's Eyes. Soft orchestral music fades in. The screen glows with morning light streaming through the Grandcharles mansion. Alfred stands before a mirror, buttoning his shirt with quiet precision, every movement calm, rehearsed, mechanical. Behind him, Jevita appears, carrying a breakfast tray. Jevida, gently. You're up early. You haven't been sleeping much.
Alfred, distant.
I don't see the point in staying in bed when I can't stop thinking. Every reflection feels like a stranger looking back. He glances at her through the mirror, polite, unfamiliar. She forces a small smile, though her eyes betray her pain. Jevida, I made your favorite. Toasted rye and coffee, no cream.
Alfred,
I told you before, you don't have to do this. Jevida, I know, but I want to. He sits. The quiet between them feels heavy. She watches him eat, searching for traces of the man she once knew. Later that day, the camera pans through Alfred's corporate office. Modern, glass walls gleaming under city light. Employees whisper as he passes. He walks confidently, though a subtle uncertainty clouds his expression. To everyone else, Alfred Charles was back. The man, the leader, the empire. But what is power without memory? What is success when the soul behind it is lost? His assistant, Claire, a woman in her 20s, approaches him with documents. Claire, welcome back, Mr. Charles. The board's eager to meet with you. Your wife called earlier, said she'd stop by for lunch. He nods, expression unreadable.
Alfred,
Thank you. And Claire, stop calling her my wife. It feels dishonest. Her face falters. He walks away, unaware of how deeply those words will cut when they reach Jevida. Afternoon. Jevida steps into his office with a soft smile and a box of pastries, his old favorite. He barely looks up from his laptop. Jevida, you're working too hard again. You used to say business can wait, but breakfast can't. He stops typing, a flicker of irritation crossing his face.
Alfred,
Jevida, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I can't play a part in a life I don't remember. It's exhausting. For both of us. She sets the pastries down, her hands trembling. Jevida, I'm not asking you to pretend, Alfred. I just want to remind you of what we had. You can't erase love by losing memory. It's in you. Somewhere. He stands, tone sharpening.
Alfred,
You keep saying that, as if love is a switch I can turn back on. But when I look at you, Jevida, all I see is a stranger who cries when I don't remember her. Her eyes glisten. The pain in her chest feels physical. Jevida, softly. Then maybe I'll keep crying, until you do. She leaves quietly, the sound of her heels fading down the hall. Alfred turns away, but his hand lingers on the pastry box. Something about the scent pulls at a memory he cannot name. A week later, Jevida organizes a charity gala, the same one they attended the night of the accident. She hopes familiarity might spark recognition. Crowds gather. Laughter and music fill the hall. Alfred arrives, escorted by Claire. He looks immaculate but detached. Jevida, in an elegant crimson gown, freezes when she sees Claire's hand brush Alfred's arm. She forces a smile, hiding the crack in her heart. Jevida, voiceover. He doesn't remember our first dance, but the world remembers how perfect we look together. She approaches him. The crowd falls silent, whispers stir as the couple face each other. Jevida, softly. One dance. For old time's sake. Asterisk, he hesitates, then nods politely. They step onto the dance floor. The music swells, the same melody from their wedding, Our Tomorrow. As they move, Alfred's steps falter slightly. His hands tremble. He closes his eyes, flashes of memory, laughter under string lights, her voice whispering I love you, the feel of her hand in his. His breath catches. He opens his eyes abruptly and steps back.
Alfred, startled.
I saw something. Jevida, hopeful. What did you see? He shakes his head, backing away.
Alfred,
I don't know. It felt real. Then it was gone. Later that night, Alfred sits alone in his car, gripping the steering wheel, breathing heavily. The flashes return, Fragmented laughter, a soft touch, a promise, even if I forget the world.
Alfred, whispering.
Even if I forget the world. What? His reflection in the windshield blurs. He slams the steering wheel in frustration. Cut to Jovita in her room, curled on the floor beside their bed. The wedding video plays on repeat. She whispers to the screen. Jovita, you told me once that love was the only thing that couldn't be taken from us. So I'll keep believing that. Even if you never remember. I'll love enough for both of us. Her voice cracks. She clutches the ring against her chest. The camera lingers on her tear-streaked face, then cuts to Alfred staring at the moon outside his window, both lost, yet tied by something invisible. The next morning, Alfred visits a cafe downtown. The owner, Mrs. Vera, smiles brightly. Mrs. Vera. Mr. Charles. Been a while. Usual table? He frowns.
Alfred.
You know me. Mrs. Vera. Of course. You and your wife used to sit right there, always arguing about whether love was logic or madness. He chuckles lightly despite himself.
Alfred.
And who won the argument? Mrs. Vera. Her. Always her. She said love is madness, and you said that's why you fell for her. Something softens in him. He glances at the corner table. Flashes of memory return. Jovita laughing, brushing cream from his nose. He smiles faintly.
Alfred, quietly.
She really believed in us, didn't she? Mrs. Vera. Believed. Honey, that woman fights for you like the world owes her your heart back. He looks down, guilt and emotion warring in his eyes. That night, Alfred returns home to find Jovita asleep on the couch, clutching a photo album. He lifts the blanket, drapes it gently over her, then pauses. His gaze lands on the photo of their wedding. He touches it, and a vivid flash hits him. Her voice, trembling but joyous. No matter what happens, I'll never stop choosing you. He gasps, hand trembling, eyes wide. The image fades, but the feeling lingers.
Alfred, softly.
Choosing me, even now. He looks at her sleeping form, emotion breaking through his usual calm. He kneels beside her, whispering almost to himself.
Alfred.
I don't remember the moments, but I remember how it feels to be near you. Maybe that's a start. He brushes a strand of hair from her face. She stirs, eyes fluttering open. For the first time, he doesn't step back. Jovita, drowsy whisper. You're here.
Alfred.
I am. And maybe, that's where I'm meant to be. Fragments of yesterday. The scene opens with a quiet morning mist settling over the Charles estate. The camera pans through the garden, dew on roses, the faint echo of laughter that no longer lives there. Inside, Jovita stands by the window, coffee in hand, watching Alfred pace along the cobblestone path outside. There's something different about him today, a shadow of thought behind his calm expression. Say memories never die. They only hide, waiting for a reason to return. And for Alfred Charles, that reason had always been her. Jovita enters the old study, carrying a box of Alfred's belongings salvaged from the accident. Inside, she finds a small wooden music box, scratched, but familiar. She wins it. The melody that plays is the same tune, Our Tomorrow. Alfred enters, drawn by the sound.
Alfred.
That song again. Why does it make my chest ache? Jovita. It was yours. You bought it the day you asked me to marry you. You said you wanted a sound to remind you of forever. He takes the box from her hands, eyes closing as the tune swirls around him. A series of quick flashes, laughter on a park bench, her hair in sunlight, a ring glinting in the air. He gasps, stumbling slightly.
Alfred, checken.
I saw you. Laughing. There was sunlight. It felt so real. Her heart leaps. Jovita, whispering. It was real, Alfred. You're remembering. He grips the desk, breathing heavily, the flood of emotion almost too much. He looks at her, not quite recognizing, but feeling something deep.
Alfred.
I don't know if I'm remembering or dreaming, but every time I hear your voice, it's like my mind tries to find its way home. She reaches for his hand, but he pulls back slightly, unsure, a man caught between worlds. Cut to a quiet cafe downtown. Claire, Alfred's assistant, meets with a mysterious man in a dark suit. He slides a folder across the table. Claire, anxious whisper. You told me the accident was over, that he'd never know.
Mann.
As long as he doesn't remember, it is over. If he does, you'll regret ever crossing me. He leaves. She stares down at the folder marked Charles Enterprises, Private Accounts. Her hands tremble. Not all memories hide behind pain. Some are buried under secrets. Evening. It rains again, like the night of the accident. Yevida stands outside, drenched, staring at the broken gate where the car once crashed. Alfred finds her there, umbrella in hand.
Alfred.
You shouldn't be out here. Yevida, quietly. This is where I lost you. Every time it rains, it feels like that night is happening all over again. He steps closer. Raindrops trickle down his face. For the first time, his tone softens.
Alfred.
Tell me about that night. Maybe if I hear it from you, I'll remember. She nods, voice trembling as she speaks. Yevida. We were driving back from the gala. You were holding my hand, promising a trip. You were laughing about something I said, and then, headlights. Screeching. I woke up screaming your name. You didn't answer. He closes his eyes, pained. A flash, the blinding light, the sound of her voice, his hand slipping from hers. He opens his eyes abruptly.
Alfred, whispering.
I heard you, that night, calling for me. But there was something else, a noise, brakes, someone shouting. It wasn't just an accident. Yevida looks up, shocked. Yevida. What do you mean? He grips his head, dizzy with fragments that don't align.
Alfred.
I don't know. But something's missing. Something important. Days later, Alfred sits in his study, surrounded by old journals and photos. Yevida walks in, watching him quietly.
Alfred.
Did I ever keep diaries? Yevida. A few. Mostly business notes. But there's one. She retrieves a small leather journal from a drawer. You used to write me letters, one every month, even after we married. He opens it. Inside, pages filled with elegant handwriting, his words, addressed to her. Alfred, reading softly. Dear Yevida, if I ever forget, please remind me that you're the reason I built all this. Without you, the world is just noise. He looks up, voice cracking. I wrote this. For you? Yevida, tearful smile. For us. For the life we promised each other. He touches the words again, as if trying to absorb them into his skin.
Alfred.
You kept these all this time? Yevida. Every one. He closes the journal, his gaze softening. He takes her hand, hesitating only a moment before holding it fully.
Alfred, quietly.
Maybe I don't remember our past, but I can feel the weight of it in your eyes. Tears stream down her face. The connection between them glows like a fragile flame reigniting. Later that night, Alfred can't sleep. He wanders into his office and finds Claire waiting, visibly shaken. Claire. Mr. Charles, we need to talk. She hands him a folder, the same one from the cafe.
Alfred.
What is this? Claire. The night of your accident. It wasn't random. Someone tampered with your car, the brakes. You were about to expose a financial scandal in your own company. They made sure you couldn't. He stares at her in shock, jaw tightening.
Alfred.
Who? Claire, whispering. Your business partner.
Richard Thaler.
He paid me to keep quiet. But I can't anymore. He drops into his chair, memories crashing like thunder. The boardroom, Richard's voice, the confrontation, the drive that night, flashes overlapping until his breathing quickens.
Alfred, Hase.
Richard. I remember. Yelling. The rain. Then. He clutches his head in pain, the flood of memory overwhelming. Yevida, she was there. I tried to protect her. Claire grabs his hand. Claire. You need to rest. Don't push it too hard. He jerks away, fury and fear colliding.
Alfred.
Get out. Now. She hesitates, then leaves. The camera lingers on Alfred's trembling hand, the man who's remembering not just love, but betrayal. Cut to the chapel on the estate. Yevida kneels before the altar, tears streaming down her face. Yevida. Please. Just let him find his way back. If he remembers the pain, I'll bear it with him. If he remembers the love, I'll cherish it. But please, don't let him remember only the darkness. Behind her, Alfred enters quietly. He stands there, listening. When she turns, her breath catches. He looks different, haunted, but awake.
Alfred, softly.
You prayed for me? Yevida, smiling through tears. Every day since you forgot how to say my name. He steps closer, voice trembling.
Alfred.
I think I remember now. Not everything, but enough to know you were my home. And someone tried to destroy it. Her eyes widen, realization dawning. Yevida. The accident.
Alfred.
It wasn't fate. It was a warning. But whoever did this, they underestimated the one thing they couldn't erase. You. He touches her cheek, the tenderness familiar yet new, a love rediscovered through pain. Sometimes, memory is not about the mind. It's about the heart that refuses to forget. The music swells. They hold each other as rain falls outside the chapel window. The same rain that once tore them apart now washes them in light. Night. Thunder rolls over the Charles estate. Windows rattle, and rain lashes against the mansion. Inside, the grand halls are dimly lit, shadows dancing on the walls. Alfred stands by the window, fists clenched, staring at the storm outside. The fragments of memory have become overwhelming. Love, betrayal, fear, all colliding. They say storms are nature's way of cleansing. But some storms don't wash away the pain. They reveal what's buried beneath. Alfred paces through the study, tossing files onto the floor, his mind racing. Claire stands at the doorway, hesitant. Claire. Sir. Please. You need to calm down.
Alfred, angrily.
Calm down. Calm down. Claire, do you understand what I just realized? Richard Hale didn't just want to stop me from remembering. He wanted to destroy everything we built, everything we built. He picks up a torn page from a ledger, his eyes scanning rapidly, connecting the dots.
Alfred.
All the accounts, the offshore transfers, it's all there. He tried to make me disappear, and Yevida, she could have died that night. Claire steps closer. Claire. You weren't alone, Mr. Charles. You were fighting with every fragment of memory you had, and she was right there beside you. Alfred drops into the chair, burying his face in his hands. The storm outside mirrors the chaos within. The next morning, sunlight fights through the clouds. Alfred drives to Richard Hale's corporate office, the penthouse gleaming, expensive, untouchable. Richard is in his office, casually sipping coffee, oblivious to the storm about to enter. Richard, smirking.
Alfred.
I didn't expect to see you so soon. Alfred, cold, controlled fury. I remember everything, Richard. Every detail. The bribe, the sabotage, the plan to end my life and take everything. Richard laughs, but it's forced. Richard. Memory loss doesn't make you weak, Charles. But anger, well, that's dangerous.
Alfred.
Dangerous? You're about to find out who's truly dangerous. Alfred throws a folder onto Richard's desk, evidence of his crimes, complete with video recordings, signed confessions from co-conspirators, and bank transfers. Richard's smug smile falters. Richard, you've been collecting all this?
Alfred.
I had help. And someone I love more than life itself reminded me why I fight. He pauses, emotion breaking through.
Alfred.
And that someone is her. Jevida. Richard swallows hard. He realizes the game is over. Alfred returns home to the estate. The mansion is quiet, yet ominous. He finds Jevida in the garden, drenched from the rain, tears streaming, staring at the roses.
Alfred, softly.
Jevida, you shouldn't be out here. Jevida, without turning. I had to be. Every rose, every memory tied to you, it feels like they're slipping away. Alfred steps closer, trembling.
Alfred.
I remember. Everything. The accident, the danger, the love, all of it. I was blind without my memories, but not blind to you. She turns, shock and hope in her eyes. Jevida, you remember?
Alfred.
I remember you. Every word, every laugh, every fight. I even remember the way you cried when you thought I might be gone forever. She runs to him. They embrace in the rain, lightning illuminating the garden like a spotlight on their reunion. Sometimes, the storm doesn't destroy you. It clears the path for what truly matters. Weeks pass. Alfred rebuilds the company, exposing Richard Hale and reclaiming his empire. The Charles mansion is alive again with warmth and laughter. Yet, one shadow remains. The memory fragments are not perfect. Alfred struggles with gaps, small faces, and names he can't recall. Jevida, gently. You don't have to remember everything, Alfred. You just have to remember us. Alfred, taking her hands. I remember more than I ever thought possible. And if there are gaps, we'll fill them together. They stand on the balcony, watching the city below. The sun breaks through the clouds, warm, golden. Alfred pulls her close, forehead against hers.
Alfred.
I lost my memory, but I found my way back to you. And I'm not letting go again. Jevida, smiling through tears. Never. The camera pans out. The mansion glows in the sunlight, the storm clouds dissipating. Their hands intertwined, a symbol of love stronger than memory, stronger than fate. Some storms come to test us. Others come to remind us that love, when true, never forgets. The scene opens with a serene sunrise spilling golden light across the Charles estate. The rain has passed, leaving the garden sparkling with dew. Birds chirp faintly. Yet inside, the mansion is quiet, almost holding its breath, as if waiting for something monumental. Memories may falter. The mind may betray. But the heart always knows. Jevida sits at the antique writing desk in the master bedroom. A single envelope, yellowed with time, rests in front of her. It's an unfinished letter Alfred wrote before the accident, a love letter meant to capture everything he felt. Jevida, whispering, if only you could read this, maybe you'd remember all the pieces of us that are still whole. She hesitates, then begins to read aloud. Jevida, reading, even if the world forgets me, even if the nights grow cold and empty, you will always be my beginning and my end. She chokes on the words. The sound of footsteps, familiar, hesitant, approaches behind her. She looks up to see Alfred standing in the doorway, hand brushing against the frame.
Alfred, softly.
I felt this letter, like a weight on my chest I couldn't place, until now. Jevida's eyes widen. Hope trembles on her lips. Jevida.
Alfred.
Alfred, stepping closer, voice trembling. I remember, not everything, not every day, but I remember you. Every glance, every laugh, every tear. I remember. Us. He reaches for her hand. She lets him, trembling. Their fingers entwine. Flashback montage begins, vivid, emotional. The first date under the oak tree, the late-night talks, the laughter, the first fight, the reconciliations, the wedding, and finally, the night of the accident. Each memory returns like waves crashing, overwhelming Alfred. Alfred, voice breaking. I remember the rain, the crash. I remember trying to protect you. I remember every promise. Every "I love you" whispered in the dark. And I remember thinking, I might have lost you forever. Yevida clutches his face, tears streaming. Yevida, you didn't lose me. You found me again. Alfred's hands cup her cheeks, his forehead pressing against hers. Silence, only the sound of their breathing and the distant chirping of birds. The couple steps into the garden. Friends, family, and staff watch quietly from the mansion's balconies. Alfred leads Yevida to the center of the fountain courtyard, the place where he proposed years ago. Alfred, kneeling, voice steady. Yevida, I may have forgotten moments, but I will never forget you. I will never forget this love, our life, our home. Yevida, choked with emotion.
Alfred, Alfred,
Will you continue this journey with me? Not as a memory, but as a forever. She drops to her knees, embracing him fully. Yevida, forever, always. He lifts her, spinning her gently. Laughter, tears, and joy merge into one, a moment of pure cinematic magic. Fireflies float around them as sunlight sparkles off the water. The camera pulls back, capturing the grandeur of the estate and the intimacy of their reunion. Night falls. Alfred and Yevida sit on the mansion balcony, wrapped in a single blanket. The city lights twinkle below. They talk quietly, sharing memories, filling in gaps, laughing, and crying together.
Alfred,
I was lost in my own mind, trapped in a maze of forgotten days. But you never left me. You fought for me. Yevida, smiling through tears. I promised I wouldn't, even when the world told me to move on.
Alfred,
I don't need perfect memory to know what matters. I have you. And that is everything. They lean into each other, foreheads touching, the city lights reflecting in their eyes. A soft piano melody swells, echoing the theme Our Tomorrow. Some love stories are tested by fate. Some hearts are challenged by memory. But the love that remembers is the love that lasts forever. Montage. Alfred and Yevida rebuild their life together, sharing breakfasts, dancing in the living room, walking hand in hand through the garden, Alfred at work but smiling, Yevida laughing beside him. Each scene radiates warmth, trust, and rekindled passion. Alfred lost his memory, but he never lost her. Yevida never gave up, even when hope seemed impossible. And in the end, love remembered everything. The camera pans to the mansion at sunset, golden light, blooming gardens, and two hearts reunited. A soft piano outro plays. Fade to black. Thanks for taking your precious time watching. Please, before you leave, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment where you are watching from.